All right, everybody, we're back at Dove Valley for day 2 of the NFL Draft. Lionel, bienvenue. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank is here. Broncos have 3 picks today, Troy, in the draft starting at 5 o'clock, which you can watch on Denver 7. Noah Fant, the number 1 pick from yesterday, was in here already for a press conference. We'll show you that all day on social media and also on Denver 7. But what are we looking for tonight, Troy, in day 2?
Well, at 41, it's going to be interesting. Will Dalton Reisner, the kid from Kansas State, from Wiggins High School,
Yes,
Wiggins, Colorado.
Wiggins.
If he's on the board, he fits. He plays all 5 line positions. He's mainly a tackle his last couple years, but can play center. I mean, that's a fit at right tackle. Also, cornerback could be a position of need. We'll talk a little more about this later. But if you move Chris Harris, you might need a cornerback. Honestly, Kareem Jackson, for me, I love him as a player. He's, for me, a better safety than corner.
Right.
Bryce Callahan's a good slot corner. He is hurt a lot. Isaac Yiadom is unproven still.
Right.
I think he's going to get better. You need 4 corners at least. I'm talking, you got like 2.5 right now. So, but keep an eye on corner. Byron Murphy, I think he goes off the board early, but keep an eye on Byron Murphy. Rocket Sin from Temple, another guy to keep it. Greedy Williams, I know that they don't really like him here, but
The LSU kid.
LSU because of his lack of tackling. But in terms of a coverage guy, if he's sitting there at 41, I mean, maybe you just deal with the fact he's a reluctant tackler. But those are positions to keep an eye on, certainly. And at some point, they need to add basically a linebacker because they didn't get Devin Bush yesterday.
Right.
But at 41, keep an eye out for an offensive lineman there because Cody Ford's still on the board, Jawan Taylor from Alabama's still on the board, Dalton Reisner's on the board. So I think there's a very good chance that at 41 you could have a pick of a lineman you like.
And, of course, everybody's going to ask in Broncos country, Drew Lock has dropped into day 2. If Drew Lock is available, will they take a quarterback in the second day?
And it's a fair question. I get a lot on Twitter. The fascination for Drew Lock, frankly, is a bit surprising at times. I mean, I watched him at Missouri, and he's decent. He's athletic, but this idea he's Jay Cutler, he's not Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was miscast at Vanderbilt. He should have been an SC big-time power. Like, his athleticism and certainly his arm strength were off the charts. Lock isn't that. And every time Lock played a good team at SEC, he struggled. A lot of guys struggle against some of those teams, but would they take him? I don't think so. Here's why. If they like Locke, they could have taken him at 10, didn't. They could have taken him at 20, they didn't. So for me, the only scenario I had in my mock draft that was in a dumpster outside of Sizzler, like an hour in.
Sizzler!
I love Sizzler. Is that if you could have traded up to 31 with the Rams, because you get that 5th-year option, which is a nice thing to have with a quarterback, because maybe he's a late bloomer, he sits 2 years, but you have him for 3. I just don't see it. If they liked him, they would have got him by now. And they need to fill holes to get better, to get back to the playoffs. You draft him, he's not playing.
Right. You don't need to take a guy that's going to sit and not make an impact. Because you said, look, man, we need some starters out of these first 2 days.
Absolutely.
Right? There's no doubt about that. All right, what's the latest on the Chris Harris Jr. situation?
You know, I've communicated with Chris today. Nothing's changed with his contract demands. He wants to be paid slightly more than Josh Norman. He wants to be in that $15 million per year range. Teams have inquired. I mean, there's been contrary reports, but teams have called about the Chris Harris. They know that they would have to pay him and rework his deal if they acquired him.
Right.
At the minimum, if it's 1 pick, Lionel, it would be a 3rd rounder for me, because that's what you would get as a compensatory pick if you were to lose him in free agency after this year. So it starts there. But if Elway says I want multiple picks, then you could say maybe 2 4s. That's different. So there's a little bit of wiggle room. But you know, John Elway, he holds this situation in control. He doesn't have to trade him. Like with Talib last year, it was like, well, they did it with Talib. Talib clashed with the coaching staff. They were motivated to move Aqib. Whether they should have is another argument. They wanted him out, and he wanted out. And then he gave him the Cowboys, Rams, and where the heck did he end up? Cowboys, Rams, and Patriots. And they tried because they had a trade with the Niners, and he said, "Fine, I'm not reporting. I'm not taking a physical." So they ended up trading him reluctantly to the Rams. Chris wants to get paid. The one team that fits, I wrote about this on Tuesday night when he first issued his ultimatum, contract or trade me, was the Indianapolis Colts. They're close. They need a corner. He loves that kid that plays there, Pierre Desir. He trains with that kid. So keep an eye on the Colts. I mean, there's a number of teams that have a cornerback need, but keep an eye on the Colts.
All right. Well, there you go, man. That's all you need to know. Headed into day 2 of the draft. We're here at Dove Valley all night, keeping you up to date on what's going on. Remember, Denver 7 is your home for the NFL Draft.